Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb Online, and today I'm gonna start a new story. What if Naruto became bloodthirsty? Part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
A loud, angry roar was followed by a huge wave of killing intent that was so strong that it killed hundreds of babies and old people. Others were frozen with fear because they knew they were going to die, while those who could still speak screamed in fear. Still, there were some people who didn't react this way. They were the shinobi of the village who were hiding in the leaves. These men and women were getting ready to face the king of all demons, the nine-tailed fox, the Kyuubi no Yoko, who was the source of the killer intent. As the demon got closer, the shinobi ran to stop the beast from getting to their home, but it seemed like they couldn't stop it. The shinobi's attacks seemed to have no effect on the fox at all. Dozens of warriors were slaughtered like sheep. Between the Nine Tails and the Leaf Village, there was a sudden puff of smoke. When the smoke cleared, there was a huge toad in its place. It was almost as big as the demon fox. The toad had a sword sheathed on its side, and 3 men were standing on top of its head. The smallest man was a big guy with wild blonde hair. The bottom of this man's white cloak had orange flames on it. The next man was the tallest of the 3. He had white hair that stood up in spikes, and he wore a red outfit with a forehead guard that said oil in kanji. The last man was by far the oldest. He didn't have much hair, and what he did have was gray and almost white. He wore a black battle suit. The oldest man was also holding a small bundle of blankets that had a baby inside. Minato, please think again about what you're going to do. Jiraiya and I both know the jutsu, so let one of us take your place. The older man begged. You know why I have to do this, Sarutobi. As Hokage, it is my job to risk my life for this village, not yours. My job is to keep this village safe, and I don't have to worry about the paperwork anymore. The young blonde, whose name was Minato, gave a weak laugh in response. The older man with white hair shook his head. Sarutobi-sensei is right, you shouldn't be doing this. You're young and have your whole life ahead of you. Let us take your place instead. Jiraiya-sensei, I can't let that happen right now. I need to pay attention. Minato answered, and then he started making a long series of hand gestures. Bunta, get us close to where I want to be. As he went into battle against the Nine Tails, the giant toad gave a nod. When the shinobi saw the toad coming toward him, he ran away to a safe place. The Nine Tails fox and the big toad started fighting while Minato kept making hand signs. Minato stopped suddenly and yelled, Gamabunta now. The Nine Tails jumped at the giant toad, and the giant toad stabbed it in the foot with his sword. The fox yelped in pain and attacked Gamabunta with one of its tails, hitting the huge toad in the eye. Then, out of nowhere, a ghostly hand shot out of Minato's chest and grew until it was as big as a house. The hand then grew until it touched the Nine Tails in the chest. The death god looked like he was reaching through Minato and into the fox's chest at the same time. The death god pulled the Kyuubi's soul and chakra out of its body with a hard pull. Minato ran right over to Sarutobi, who had already pulled back the blankets to show the sleeping baby. He took out some ink and a pen and started writing on the baby's stomach. Then, he wrote the same seal on his own stomach. When Minato was done, he put his palm on the baby's hand and yelled, seal. When the death god held the demonic chakra, it shot toward the group. Then it broke in half, and one half went into Naruto's stomach and the other half went into Minato's stomach. It's over, Minato said quietly as he fell to his knees. Hand Naruto to me. Before I die, I'd like to hold my son one last time. Sarutobi nodded, and then she gave Minato the baby, who had just woken up. The blonde man smiled softly at his child before giving him a kiss on the head. Don't forget, son, that your mother and I will always love you. Minato then gave Naruto back to Sarutobi and laid down on his side to take his last breath. Jiraiya shook his head and said, he was, and he will always be. The man couldn't say anything else because all of a sudden, the Kyuubi's chakra poured out of Minato's body and started to circle Naruto. On instinct, Sarutobi jumped back, but Naruto stayed where he was, floating in a red chakra ball. This surprised Sarutobi. As more chakra leaked out of Minato, the sphere grew until it was the size of a large bedroom and so thick that Naruto couldn't be seen, but his screams of pain could still be heard. Then Minato's chakra stopped leaking out, and the ball stopped getting bigger. Sarutobi and Jiraiya saw as the ball started to get into Naruto, and his cries got louder. Within a few seconds, all the chakra had gone into the baby, and he fell. Before he could land on Gamabunta's head, Jiraiya caught him. What went on? Sarutobi asked, his voice shaking a little bit out of fear. Jiraiya looked at the baby and saw that the only difference was that Naruto had 3 marks on each cheek that looked like whiskers. I don't remember when Minato told me this, but now Naruto has all of Kyuubi's chakra sealed into him instead of just half. This shouldn't have happened, Jiraiya said with a sigh. Sarutobi-sensei, this is something we can't tell anyone else. You're right, but now I have to explain this to the council. I worry that Naruto won't have an easy life if the meeting's results are bad enough. He said this as his face turned sad. When Sarutobi walked into the council chamber with Naruto in his arms, he noticed right away that every spot was an old man. He then started to check his mind. Let's see, Shibaya Buram, Chusa Akamichi, Hayashi Hyuga. Strange, why is Ashi's wife here? Anyways, Shikaku Nara is sleeping, Fugaku Uchiha, and Inoichi Yamanaka. Also here are Danzu, Hamura, and Koharu. Last, there was the civilian council. We'll see what happens. Silence, Sarutobi called out. After telling the civilian council about the battle with Kyuubi, the sealing of the demon inside Naruto, and Minato's death, Sarutobi had to listen to them call for Naruto's death for the last hour. He was finally sick of it. You won't kill Naruto just because you all hate the Kyuubi. Most of you have forgotten that the Yondaime was pretty good at sealing. I think that the way he plans to deal with the fox will work. Considering how you responded, this information is now an S-class secret. If someone says that Naruto is a Jinchuriki, they will be put to death. Now, if no one has anything to say, let's keep going. For a moment, it looked like the civilian council would go on. But then there was a blast of killer intent that scared even the clan leaders in the room and stopped the civilians from saying anything. Now, the next thing to figure out is what will happen to Naruto. Most children without parents go to an orphanage, but Naruto's situation is too delicate for that. Do you have any other ideas? Sarutobi asked. Lord Hokage, the Uchiha clan is one of the strongest in the village. I think it would be best for us to adopt the child so that we can take care of him if something goes wrong. From his seat, a strong man said, that's a good idea, Fugaku-san, but I think you should have someone else take care of Naruto if the fox takes over. Sarutobi replied. As you all know, the Shodai were able to control wood in a special way. He was then able to control the beast with the tail. Orochimaru's experiments with the DNA of the Shodai were done on a young man named Tenzu, which was a bad thing. Orochimaru thought that all of his test subjects had died after he left. But that was not the case. Tenzu has lived, and he has the powers of a Shodai. I think the best thing would be to make him the boy's guardian. Is there anyone against this? Sarutobi asked. He was waiting for someone to talk, but when no one did, he just nodded. Alright, this meeting is over. After that, Sarutobi left the meeting room and went to his office. Arriving at his office, Sarutobi sighed. Dog, go find me cat. Tell him this is the most important thing in the world. Before a gust of wind filled the room, someone laughed. Damn it, Kakashi always listens in on the meetings of the council. If the boy was a snitch, the secrets of the village would almost be out in the open. Sarutobi thought with a sigh. A swirl of leaves then showed up, and an Anbu stood at attention. Oh, cat, you can take off your mask and get comfortable. We might be here for a while. The Anbu nodded, then took off his mask and sat down. Did you need me, Hokage-sama? Asked the Anbu. Yes, Tenzu, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Tenzu gave the Sarutobi a sign to keep going. I want you to take the baby in. Sarutobi pointed to a crib where Naruto was soundly sleeping. Tenzu jumped up from his seat and started to say what he thought. What? Why, Hokage-sama, surely somebody else is better suited for the job. How? Tenzu, I wouldn't have asked you to do this if I didn't have my reasons. Now, be quiet so I can explain. Tenzu was talking, but Sarutobi spoke up and stopped him. The Anbu nodded, then sat back down in his seat. What I'm about to tell you is a top secret S-class secret. This little orphan Naruto isn't like other orphans. The only reason this village still stands is because of this baby. Naruto, this is the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. Sarutobi was surprised that Tenzu didn't seem the least bit surprised. Instead, he just nodded. I can control demons just like the Shodai Hokage. And you want me to be there if the fox ever takes over so I can control it, right? He said. Sarutobi simply nodded. Okay, let's talk about the rules. First, Naruto's living costs will be taken care of, and second, I will never be told to kill the boy. You drive a hard bargain, but you have a deal with Tenzu, Sarutobi said with a smirk. Tenzu just has too many bad memories, so call me Yamato. Tenzu added, trying not to shake. Yes, Yamato, of course. I know what you mean. Sarutobi answered with a solemn look on her face. After 5 years, Yamato Nyai-san. As he walked into the living room, a small blonde man called out, Yes, Naruto. Yamato spoke up. Before he said anything, Naruto walked up to Yamato. What can I do today? I'm bored. Yamato sighed and said, Naruto, it's late, the sun has set, and you should be sleeping anyway. I'm not tired, so I can't sleep. Naruto gave a huff in response. Okay, just watch TV. I'm going to sleep, Yamato said before tossing the remote at Naruto, hitting him in the head. Hey. As Yamato walked out of the room, he laughed. Naruto waited until he could clearly hear Yamato snoring before sneaking out of the room as quietly as he could. Finally, I thought he'd never go to bed. Now I have to hurry before Ikaraku's closes. Naruto whispered to nobody in general before taking off to his favorite ramen stand. Just down this block, I'll be there with a plate of ramen, Naruto said. Suddenly, a shuriken just missed him by a hair. What the? Hey, demon, we're here to stop you for good. Someone called out, and then everyone cheered. When Naruto turned around, he saw a big group of villagers who were all armed in some way. You mean what? The fear in Naruto's body made him ask. We're going to finish what the Yondaime started, which is exactly what we said. Demon, you're going to die today. Someone else spoke up. A kunai shot out of the crowd and hit Naruto in the leg before he could answer. Naruto screamed, but this only seemed to excite the crowd. Then, a big man ran out of the group and went straight for Naruto. As he ran, he wildly swung a rusty sword, and when he got close to Naruto, he took a wide swing at him. Naruto jumped back to avoid the attack because it was his first instinct. With this move, Naruto was saved from being cut in half, but he still got a deep cut along his chest. Naruto put his arm over the wound and tried not to scream. The man kept beating Naruto, so he kicked him in the face, sending him flying into a nearby dumpster. Naruto gasped when he hit the trash can because he lost his breath. Then, Naruto saw another man coming at him with a spiked club in one hand. Naruto knew this was his last moment, so he closed his eyes and waited for the blow. But it never came. When Naruto opened his eyes, he was no longer in the streets of Konoha. Instead, he was in a dirty sewer. Come here, child, a voice said from far away. It doesn't hurt to try, it might be a way out. Naruto went in the direction of the voice after giving it some thought. After a few seconds, he walked into a room with a huge cell door at one end. Two blood-red eyes popped up out of nowhere inside the cell. Child, they're going to kill you, a voice inside the cell yelled. Naruto nodded slowly. Yeah, but there's nothing I can do about. No, you let me protect you from something. If we work together, we can kill those stupid humans, the voice shouted, making Naruto back up. Why would you help me? Naruto questioned, suspicious of the voice. I have no reason to lie to you. So the reason is that I am the Kyuubi no Yoko, king of the demons. If I died because of pathetic humans, other demons would feel sorry for me. Aside from that, I think it's silly that these people think you are me, and it would be my pleasure to help you kill them all. At the end of his answer, Kyuubi let out a dark laugh. Kyuubi's answer made Naruto gasp, and then he said, I don't want to kill them. Why don't you want to kill the humans? They get pleasure from your pain and would love for you to die. Take my power and kill the humans. That's the only way you can stay alive in this world. Kyuubi cut them off with his answer. No, I'll find a way to earn their respect. Naruto said this with his voice shaking. Listen to yourself. You don't believe what you're saying even to yourself. Why do you want them to look up to you? Those sad creatures don't deserve to live, let alone your blood, sweat, and tears as you try to reach an impossible goal. Kyuubi retorted. His words finally got through to Naruto, because the blonde started crying. Yes, you're right, they do deserve to die. Help me kill them. Naruto yelled in between sobs. As soon as Naruto said that, 9 foxtails shot through the bars of the cage and gently wrapped themselves around him. Don't worry, I will. I'll always be here for you from now on. A dark smirk appeared in the cage, to which Kyuubi replied. Naruto opened his eyes and saw the man with the spiked club right in front of him. The man was about a foot away from hitting the ball when a red, semi-translucent object that looked like a tail stopped him. The man was then shocked when the tail wrapped around him. Let me go, you demon. The man who was stuck yelled. Child, how do you feel about killing that man? Naruto heard the voice of Kyuubi in his head. He would have killed me the same way. Naruto spoke up. Naruto's arm turned into a spiked club made of the same material as the tail that was wrapped around the man. Naruto swung the club at the man's head and knocked it off in one smooth motion. Naruto's face turned sadistic when he saw the man's blood shoot out of his neck like a fountain. People in the crowd who had seen the whole thing were shocked. It was the first time the boy had fought back when they hurt him. Before they could do anything, a huge hand of the red material shot up and slammed down on top of them, killing most of the people there. The few people who were left tried to get away from the massacre, but several tails came out of the ground and killed them. Naruto took a look at the mess and laughed. His small laugh soon turned into a full-on fit of laughter. When the boy calmed down, he looked at his clothes and saw that they were covered in blood, which made his white shirt look dark red. I like how they look. I'll ask Yamato Naisen if he can take me shopping for clothes soon. Naruto walked home thinking about that. When Naruto opened the door to his apartment, he saw that nothing had changed. The TV was still on, and Yamato was still asleep as far as he could tell. As he walked into his room, Naruto thought, I should take a shower and go to sleep. Naruto went to his bathroom to clean up after he found a pair of black pajamas. After a few minutes, the young blonde came out of the bathroom, and there was no sign of the massacre he had taken part in. Naruto rolled over on his bed and closed his eyes with a big yawn, only to find himself looking at the Kyuubi's cage. When Naruto looked around the room, he saw that it was dirty. Why does my mind look like a sewer? Kyuubi's blood-red eyes peeked out from behind the door and he laughed. If you don't like it, then change it, boy. This is your mind, and it would be nice to be somewhere near a sewer. Kyuubi answered with a tone of boredom. Naruto nodded and then tried to change his mind's environment. A few seconds later, the sewer turned into a forest. What a clever idea, a forest. Kyuubi muttered and let out a sigh. Naruto stared but didn't say anything. Alright, enough chit-chat. I had a reason for bringing you here. You need to learn how to control my chakra and be able to protect yourself without it. Kyuubi said, turning to Naruto. I will never make you reliant on me. It makes me sick to think about it. Why? When Kyuubi said that, Naruto was a little shocked. Boy, you're not much better than a leech. I'll give you the power to kill any fool you want. Then, if you use my power, you'll be almost as powerful as a god. Kyuubi replied. But what are you going to teach me? I'm a person and you're an animal. What Naruto said. The Kyuubi looked like it was made of red chakra. Moments later, the chakra went away, and a strong man who was almost twice as tall as Naruto stood in its place. The man's red hair was short and well kept. The man wore a red cloak, and 9 red fox tails flowed behind him. This is how I will train you when we get to that part of your training. After the red chakra exploded, Kyuubi changed back into his huge fox form. Now, you must first learn how to use my chakra to make weapons quickly. You don't have to worry about using it as an excuse, because I'll always take care of that. Kyuubi said. How do I draw out your chakra? Naruto asked. The Kyuubi stopped for a moment and thought about how to say it so that the young child would understand. Kyuubi, finally happy with an answer, said, just think of the seal being on you, and then draw out the chakra. As you progress, you will be able to draw it out on a whim. Naruto nodded, and for the rest of the night, he worked on getting Kyuubi's chakra and speeding up the process. Yamato jolted awake. Being a part of Anbu had sharpened his senses a lot, and when he fell into conciseness, he knew that the coppery smell in the air could only be blood. Yamato ran out of his room and ran as fast as he could to where the smell was strongest. When the smell led to Naruto's room and the door was shut, it scared him even more. Yamato slammed the door open and saw Naruto sleeping peacefully on his bed. Yamato walked out of the room, letting out a sigh of relief. He didn't care where the smell had come from. If the former Anbu had looked at Naruto more closely, he would have seen that the whisker marks on his cheeks sometimes get darker before going back to normal. Naruto didn't wake up for almost an hour. He went into the living room and saw Yamato sitting at the table with a cup of coffee in her hand. Yamato looked up and then pointed behind him to a counter where a plate of steaming hot food was sitting. Naruto took the plate and put it down on the table. The boy then went to a cabinet and got a pair of chopsticks out of it. Yamato looked on as Naruto ate. It was easy to see that something wasn't right. First, there was the way he ate. Naruto usually ate in breaths, but this time he ate at a normal pace. Second, how was behaving? Yamato loved the boy as much as if he were his real brother, but Naruto's hyperactive behavior sometimes drove Yamato crazy. The boy hadn't said a word yet and hadn't even moved in a way that showed his bubbly personality. In the end, his face was the real red flag. Naruto always had a smile on his face, whether it was a fake one for the villagers or a real one when he and Yamato did something like go to Ikaraku's ramen stand or when Yamato gave him a gift of some kind. The way Naruto's face looked now was like one of Danzu's root Anbu. Yamato almost got chills from the lack of feeling. Yamato decided that now was not the time to press for an answer, so she made small talk instead. So Naruto, what do you want to do today? Yamato asked. Naruto shrugged, then said it would be helpful to go get some new clothes. Yamato couldn't stop shaking when Naruto's voice made him feel cold. He could give the Hyuga a run for their money right now. That's possible. Do you want anything in particular? Yamato asked. Anything that's red will do. Also durable. Naruto spoke up. Yamato said, alright, let's go. Naruto and Yamato walked silently to Konoha's market area. When they got there, Yamato went to the closest store to buy clothes, but Naruto pointed to a store that sold gear for shinobi. Why, no, you won't become a ninja until a few years after you get to the academy. Naruto shrugged. Might as well get ready now. Yamato nodded at the response before the two walked in. Yamato then turned to Naruto and said, "Get a few of whatever you buy. I'm going to check out some stuff." Naruto nodded and walked over to where the clothes were. Naruto was first drawn to a pair of black cargo pants with red pockets. Naruto laughed when he saw that the red looked just like the blood from last night. Naruto picked up 7 pairs so that he would have one for each day of the week. Then Naruto kept shopping until he found a hoodie without sleeves. It was black on top, with a blood red bottom half and blood red stripes that turned black where they met the black part. The hood itself was a plain jet black color. When Naruto opened it, he saw that the inside of the jacket had many pockets made to hide weapons. Naruto put on the jacket and went to a mirror to look at himself. Naruto took a look at how he looked and nodded. Then a thought came to the boy's mind. Naruto put on his hood till his entire face was covered in shadow. Then Naruto took some of Kyubai's chakra. Naruto laughed when he saw himself in the mirror. In the shadow under his hood, the only things visible were 2 slitted blood red eyes. "That's pretty cool." Naruto said something to himself. Naruto was happy with the jacket, so he went and got 6 more. Then Naruto picked up 12 black t-shirts that fit well. Naruto then carried the big sack of clothes over to Yamato. "It looks like you have everything you need, so I'll go pay for these now while you look for anything else," Yamato answered, and then he smiled and pulled out a credit card. "Thank you, Hokage-sama." Naruto gave all of the clothes to Yamato and then went to the weapons section. "I don't really need a gun. I can make any weapon I want out of Kyubai's chakra." Naruto had an idea. "Don't think that way, boy, because it will only make you weak. It would be best to get a weapon so you have a backup in case you can't use my chakra, or so you have something to make you stand out in battle." Kyubai's voice spoke back to Naruto in his head. "Alright." Naruto thought that this meant the boy was looking for a weapon he liked. Katana? Nope. To generic. Spear? Nope. Not something that would really scare people away. Maybe a bow and arrows. What do we have now? Then Naruto picked up a pair of trench knives that were jet black. Naruto smiled as he slid his fingers into place. "These now feel good. Send my energy to them," Kyubai said. Naruto nodded, then did what the Kyubai told him to do. After a moment of nothing, the trench began to glow red, and then each blade grew a 2-foot-long red chakra extension. Then Naruto let the chakra fall. Naruto then tried the same thing with his own chakra, but nothing happened for a long time. Naruto sighed and thought that his chakra couldn't affect the blades, but when he moved his arm, a cut appeared in the shelf where all the weapons were. "So you have some wind for your affinity." When Naruto turned around, Yamato was standing there with his clothes in 2 bags and a big box in the other hand. "It looks like you also like those blades." Yamato laughed, and Naruto gave him a nod. "You seem to want to become a ninja as soon as possible. I get why I had to leave the academy early. I think my little brother is getting bigger. Here, let me go pay for your trench blades so we can leave." Naruto nodded and gave the blades to Yamato. "Hokage-sama, we need to tell you something important right away." An Anbu yelled as he walked into Sarutobai's office out of nowhere. If this was what had his best soldiers in such bad shape, the news could not be good, the old Hokage thought. "Weasel, what is it?" Sarutobai asked. "While Hare and I were doing our morning sweep, we got to the edge of the neighborhood and saw several dead bodies. When something like this happened, Sarutobai's face turned pale. She knew that security was getting worse. When I looked more closely, I saw that several of them were stuck through the chest. 12 more people were smashed against the street, and one man's head was cut off. When Hare found the man's head, it had several holes in one side. Is there any way to connect the crime to the person who did it?" asked Sarutobai. Weasel nodded and said, "When I turned on my Sharingan, there was red chakra all over the area." When Weasel said that, Sarutobai's world stopped, and he realized what was going on. "Naruto," Sarutobai said quietly. "Weasel, get Yamato to me as soon as you can. It's an emergency." Sarutobai told the Anbu to leave, and it did so. "What's in the box, Yamato?" Naruto asked, but he didn't sound very interested. Yamato waited a moment before opening the box. Inside were a pair of wrist guards, a pair of shin guards, and a chainmail shirt with no sleeves. Naruto said, "Armor. Kind of a kid. Even though they are used as armor, these are really just weight." Yamato gave Naruto the bags of clothes and then turned over one of the wrist guards to show a small seal on the back. That little seal can change the weight based on how much chakra you have. If you need to lose weight, just put a little chakra into the armor's seals. Yamato snapped his finger and laughed. "That reminds me, the store owner wanted me to tell you that all of the clothes in his store are unique. By putting chakra into them, they can change size to fit you, dry if they're wet, or make heat to keep you warm on a colder mission. Also, this isn't always used because it takes a lot of chakra, but if you add a lot, it can fix damage." "That makes sense," Naruto agreed. When Yamato got to the house, he opened the door, but an Anbu stopped him. Hokage-sama wants to see you right away. Yamato nodded and turned to Naruto. Make yourself some instant ramen to snack on. I'll be home as soon as I can. When he said that, Yamato and the Anbu left. As Yamato and Weasel walked into the room, Sarutobi let out a sigh. It wouldn't be easy to have this talk. Thanks, Weasel, you're out of here. As the Anbu left the room, Sarutobi stopped for a moment. Yamato, I've been told some terrible news about Naruto. It looks like Naruto used the Kyuubi's chakra to kill several civilians last night. Now, I don't think the boy did this on purpose, but that doesn't mean the situation isn't important. Yes, Hokage-sama, you're right, but what do you plan to do about it? Yamato asked. There will be a meeting of the council later today to talk about what happened. In all honesty, I think they'll tell me to get rid of the law that says Naruto is a Jinchuriki or ask for the boy's death. I can probably get them to let the boy live, but I'll have to make a deal and get rid of the law. Hokage-sama, you want me to stop him, right? You want me to kill him if he kills again, don't you? The aged ninja sighed. I thought so. In all honesty, if Naruto was attacked and killed those people in self-defense, I can't punish. And if he's attacked and kills his attackers, I won't be aiding them. Sarutobi glared and stood from his chair. You forget your place, soldier. If I tell you to stop the boy attacks, you will do such. Yamato gave Sarutobi a look of his own and said, with all due respect, Hokage-sama, I can't hurt my little brother for trying to protect himself. If he attacks first, I'll take care of him, but if he doesn't, I won't help the fools in this village. They made their own monster, and now they have to deal with it. Good afternoon, sir. After saying that, Yamato slammed the door to his office as he left. Sarutobi leaned back in his chair and said, things just got a lot worse in the village. And sorry, Minato, I wasn't able to save your son, and now he's on the way to becoming what you were trying to protect this village from. The village council waited patiently as the third Hokage walked into the room with a sad face. When their leader called an unplanned meeting, many people were shocked. Now they had to wait to find out what was going on. Members of the council, I brought you here to talk about something that happened last night. Naruto Uzumaki, who was only 5 years old, was attacked by a group of villagers for no clear reason. In order to protect himself, the boy used some of the Kyuubi's chakra to kill his attackers. Sarutobi said this while trying to figure out how the council would react. He wasn't surprised when the civilians started calling for the boy's death right away, but he was shocked when most of the clan heads also called for the boy to be killed. In fact, Aburame, Hyuga, Nara, Akimichi, and Yamanaka were the only ones who didn't want the boy killed. Even Danzu and his old teammates wanted Naruto to die. Enough, Naruto won't die because of many things. Sarutobi said something that upset almost all of the council. What's the point of keeping it alive now that the beast has shown its true colors? Suma and Yuzuka yelled at him. First, the boy will be a very valuable addition to the ninja force once he is trained. Second, he did what he did to protect himself. Third, the only person who could kill Naruto refuses to do so. I also remember that Yamato wasn't supposed to kill Naruto as part of our deal. Sarutobi answered that she thought the last part. Well, if that's true, then your law about it should be thrown out. If nothing else, it will keep the devil away from our children. One of the civilian council members, who was tall, asked. Sarutobi felt pain. Even though he was right, it was still a little strange that everyone kept calling Naruto a demon and a beast, and that he had been right about it. Fine, my law will no longer be valid from now on. From now on, everyone can find out that Naruto is a Jinchuriki. Meeting dismissed. He looked at himself in the mirror. With his new clothes on, he looked pretty scary. The boy looked at himself in the mirror and used Kyuubi's chakra. Now, if they call me a demon, I can show them a demon, he said. Naruto said something to himself. Naruto looked in the box at the weights. Well, why not? Naruto then took off his shirt and jacket and put on the chainmail shirt. Naruto took off his shirt and jacket and put on his wrist guards and shin guards instead. The boy thought for a moment that they were broken, but then his body almost fell over from the sudden weight they added. Wow, it feels like someone threw a lot of weight at me. Well, the weights tend to get heavier when you sleep because that's when your chakra recharges and your capacity grows. So this is the only time you'll feel this much weight gain while you're awake. Don't take those weights off either. It works better that way, Yamato said as he came into sight from behind Naruto. Yamato and Naruto both walked into the living room after Naruto nodded. Naruto, I need to ask you something. Naruto nodded, so Yamato continued. What did the gang do last night? I killed them, so I know about the Kyuubi. Yamato was shocked by Naruto's simple answer. The boy's answer sounded like he was talking about something like the weather. Yamato took a moment longer to get himself together before going on. Well, people couldn't talk about you and the Kyuubi because it was against the law. The law that says you can't talk about being a host will be dropped because of the murder. Now it will be hard to make friends. I have no friends right now. I don't think I'll need or want them, so can we start training already? Naruto spoke up. Yamato gave a reluctant nod. Naruto, why couldn't I have been there to protect him? Then none of this mess would have happened. Okay, since it's getting late, I'll start with Tai Chi and physical training. I want you to run 5 laps around the village every morning. I want you to do 100 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and 200 squats when you're done. When you're done, we'll move on to the taijutsu form in this scroll. Alright, start your laps. Yamato said this while pointing to a path that taijutsu experts often use to run around the whole village. Naruto gave a nod and then walked down the path. Naruto sighed and said, I can't do this because of these stupid weights. Even though it was only his second lap, it had already taken the young blonde a couple of hours. In fact, the blonde was so caught up in his thoughts that he didn't see the person walking in front of him until he hit them. Because Naruto was moving faster, the collision caused him to fall on top of the other person. Naruto pulled himself out of his shock and saw that he was on top of a girl about his age with lavender eyes and no pupils. Before Naruto could say anything, someone yelled, "The demon is attacking the Hyuga heiress." In a matter of seconds, a large group of people surrounded the two kids. Naruto was surprised that he didn't notice how many people were there. Naruto slowly stood up and looked around to see how many people were there. "Leave me alone," he barked. A few people moved away when they heard him, but a man with 2 triangles under his eyes just smiled. Finally, the fox has a little backbone. That's interesting. But I'm one of the best chunin in Yuzuka, so you're going to die, you little demon. The man's threat got cheers from the crowd, and he smiled. The man yelled, "Now, demon, die," and threw a bunch of kunai and shuriken at Naruto. Tails of Kyubai's chakra suddenly shot out of Naruto's lower back and stopped all of the projectiles, leaving the crowd stunned. "I warned you," Naruto said this while grinning in a cruel way. Naruto shot his arm forward and a chakra arm extended out, capturing the stunned ninja. "Now fool, die." Naruto closed his hand, causing the chakra extension to mimic him. The group looked to see a puff of smoke and Naruto chakra hand enclosed around a crushed log. "Cheap trick, come face me like a man." Naruto growled. Suddenly one of the tails shot to the left of Naruto. The young blonde looked to see the tail was blocking a kunai that was posed to strike him in the skull. The Inuzuka Chunin gaped at the red appendage blocking his weapon while Naruto frowned. "You're boring." The man glared and was about to respond when suddenly the distinct sound of flesh being pierced echoed through the area. The man looked down to see one of the chakra tails sticking out of his chest. The tail then ripped upwards, splitting the man's neck and head in half. Naruto then glanced around at the rest of the group before he smirked. "Who's next?" Not giving anybody a chance to reply, Naruto swept his chakra arms out, knocking a chunk of the crowd into the distance. The young blonde then slammed his chakra arms into the ground, creating a mini earthquake, causing the people to lose their balance. Naruto then brought his chakra arms in and formed them into blades. Before anybody could recover, Naruto spun rapidly while the arms extended and slicing people apart as he spun. Within a couple of seconds, every civilian was dead and sliced into pieces. The only people currently standing were a few ninja who had managed to avoid the attack and Naruto. One of the ninja glared at Naruto when suddenly his eyes turned crimson with 2 tomo inside each. "Kid, you may have been able to take out that Inuzuka and some civilian, but now you're dealing the elite in this village. Not even you can stand the might of the Uchiha demon." Naruto glared before shooting a hand at the man. His chakra hand's fingers then extended and converged on the Uchiha from different angles. The Uchiha then jumped into the air, while dodging the fingers. "Some elite," Naruto mumbled before making the fingers of chakra close on the man. The boy glared when all his crushed was log. "You guys don't seem to have a lot of variety." Then seemingly proving him right, one of the chakra tails shot to the left of his head. Naruto sighed and looked to his left only to see the man with his chest expanded while he was inhaling. The man exhaled and a large ball of flame directly in Naruto's face. The man jumped back as smoke covered the area. "And the demon finally dies, and by my hand." The Uchiha shouted. "No, not quite, but I am kind of ticked. You could have singed my clothes." The Uchiha froze as he listened to the voice coming directly behind him. Turning slowly, the man almost pissed himself when he saw Naruto staring directly behind, not even showing signs of being touched by his jutsu. "What happened to the arrogant elite? Now all I smell is a pathetic little man." Not given the man time to reply, Naruto thrust one of his chakra arms through the man's stomach. The man gasped, but in one act of desperation strung through a short series of hand signs before expelling another fireball through his mouth. The Uchiha male let loose a gasp when the smoke cleared and one of the chakra tails had extended and completely wrapped the young blonde. "What made you think doing it a second time would increase the chances of success?" Naruto spoke up. Naruto ripped his chakra arm out of the man's chest, taking a few organs with him, and watched as the man crumpled to the ground. Naruto then stopped when he noticed there were several men just staring, paralyzed in fear. Oh my goodness, where are my manners? How could I forget about all of you? Sorry, let me make amends, Naruto stated in mock embarrassment. Naruto then made the chakra tails plunge into the ground. Two of the men were too shocked to move as the tails emerged from the ground and plunged into their skulls, but the final man ducked and jumped back to avoid the deadly tail. Hey demon, just let me live. I promise I will never attack you again, the man begged as he backed away from Naruto. Would you have let me live if I couldn't defend myself? Naruto asked with a glare. The man opened his mouth but nothing coherent came out. I didn't think so. The man panicked and began looking around frantically, but Naruto was nowhere to be found. The man sighed in relief and began walking away. Then before he could take 5 steps, he grasped his throat as it began to bleed out profusely. Standing right next to the man was Naruto as he was admiring his trench knives. These babies are just too nice, Naruto murmured to himself as the man fell over. Sighing in contentment, Naruto wiped the blood off his blade with a clean patch of the man's shirt. Naruto started to walk back home when he stepped on something that made a soft grunt. Looking down, Naruto noticed it was the person who he had ran into earlier. Hey, get up, it's over, Naruto said in a dead voice. The little girl slowly got up and looked at Naruto in, from what he could tell, fear and awe. Why you kill all those people? She asked, her body trembling as badly as her voice. They would have killed me, Naruto replied plainly. Why? The girl asked. I'm only a monster that they believe needs to be killed. Naruto spoke up. Why you don't look like an monster? The girl responded. Naruto looked her in the eye before drawing some of Kyuubi's make his eye glow red and turning his pupils into vertical slits. The girl tilted her to the side while looking at Naruto's eyes in interest. They said you're a monster because you have kitty eyes. The girl asked, confused. No, they're not kitty eyes. They're fox eyes, the 9-tails fox's eyes. I have it sealed inside me and everybody blames me for the people it killed. Naruto spoke up. Did you kill those people? The girl asked. Naruto just shook his head. Then why do they blame you? Naruto was about to respond when he found he didn't have an answer. Then Kyuubi's hearty laughter bellowed in his head. Leave to a child to realize something a vast majority of your village couldn't, the demon bellowed through his chuckling. Well, I should be going, Naruto said as he began to walk away. Wait, what's your end name? The girl asked. Naruto didn't even stop. I'm Hinata. Naruto paused. Naruto, he said before continued to walk on. Princess, get up. It's time to go to school. Naruto groaned and cursed Yamato's ability to be so active at such ungodly hours. The soon-to-be 9-year-old blonde boy struggled to get out of bed and get ready for his first day of school. Well, it's about time. I thought for a second that I might have to burn your hair again to wake you up. As Naruto entered the kitchen and sat down, Yamato said. The memory of his brother burning his hair with a low-level fire jutsu made the blonde shiver. Naruto had patches of baldness on his head for weeks as a result, and Kyuubi would laugh for almost half an hour every night when he went into his subconscious to train with the demon. Why am I required to go to school? You, the Hokage, and I all know it's pointless. Can't I just join the shinobi now? Naruto asked. You can't join now because no shinobi will work with you. You have to go to the academy so the Hokage and I can find you teammates who won't be so scared of you that they can't do missions. We've discussed this before. Yamato sighed in frustration. I don't see why I need a team if they won't help me like you keep saying, and everyone knows it. Besides, I can handle myself in any situation. Naruto was angry. Well, that might be fine, but you won't be able to do solo missions until you're at least a Chunin, and even then, there won't be many of them until you're an elite Jounin or an Anbu. Yamato retorted. Fine. But I'm not responsible if a student at the academy dies or comes close to dying from an injury in the next few years. Naruto answered with a smirk that was getting darker. Before Naruto could leave, Yamato grabbed him by his jacket's hood. Killing the adults in this village who attack you is fine with me because they deserve it, but killing your peers and future allies will not be allowed. If I find out you killed a student in cold blood, I'll deal with you personally. Yamato said that his voice sounded as cold as ice. Yamato held onto Naruto's hood for a few tense minutes while the two stood there. Then Naruto quickly pulled his hood away from Yamato. Like you could, the boy answered as he walked out the door. But since you asked nicely, brother, I won't kill anyone who doesn't attack me first. Yamato worried that Naruto had just made things worse for the kids at the academy because his voice was so full of anger. The killing intent that surrounded Naruto as he walked to school made every living thing avoid him like the plague. Some people thought the buildings were avoiding the angry blonde. That jackass thinks he can threaten me like that. I will kill him, just like I have killed every other fool who has ever crossed my path. Wait, no, what was I saying? If there are any people I should spare if I decide to turn this village into a meteor crash zone, it would have to be Yamato, Ikaraku, and I am. Oh, and there's also that girl I met all those years ago, Hinata. I wouldn't kill her if I could avoid it. Naruto's desire to kill lessened as his anger subsided, and he kept going toward the ninja academy. Iruka was not having a good day. First, he spilled coffee on his brand new ninja pants. Second, when he got to class, all of his papers were messed up and had been eaten by rodents. Once he had gotten all of his papers in order and checked his class attendance sheet, he saw that Uzumaki was in his class. I have a feeling the next few years will be hard. Iruka moaned in utter despair. When students started to come into the classroom, Iruka quickly stopped acting out. When the final bell rang, Iruka looked around and almost sputtered. The room was full of the village's most important clan heirs. Then Iruka had to check again, but his eyes weren't tricking him. Nobody could find the demon. It might have realized that it didn't have the right to be a ninja in this village. Even better, maybe someone killed the demon on its way here. Iruka thought with almost too much happiness. Even though the bell had just gone off, Naruto was casually walking down the halls. The blonde was actually enjoying the walk to class more than he thought he would enjoy class itself, and there was only one reason for that. The fear in the air made him feel really good. As the blonde walked through the school's large halls, everyone who saw him ran away as fast as they could or, in some cases, stood still and shook with fear. Naruto had to keep from laughing at the scared soul's expense. This is great. I haven't even shown that I want to kill them yet, and they're already running away from me. If this is how everyone acts at the academy, it'll be more fun than I thought. Naruto thought, but the ninja and sadistic training's grin made even more people stay away from him. Well, everyone is here except Uzumaki, so that leaves us with 19 kids. 5 of them are heirs to clans Shinoa Burame, Chouji Akamichi, Hinata Hyuga, Shikamaru Nara, and Ino Yamanaka. Sasuke Uchiha and Kiba and Yuzuka are both next in line to be heirs. 3 more students are related to Sakura Haruno, Tia Kurado, and Kanishi Itsuki, who are all on the civilian council. 4 of the students are from ninja couples, but the rest are orphans. This must be one of the most royalist classes to ever attend the academy. As Iruka finished mentally taking attendance, he thought. Iruka cleared his throat to get the attention of the class. Welcome to the ninja, etc. Iruka was cut off when a big column of blood-red flames erupted right next to him. He had to use all of his ninja skills to keep from shouting out in surprise. After the fire was out, a short hooded figure was standing there. When Iruka touched the figure, he immediately regretted it. When the figure turned to face Iruka, all he saw were 2 blood-red eyes that made his blood stop. The pupils of each eye were vertical slits. "Why your end name?" Iruka asked as his face turned ghostly white from looking into eyes that seemed to be eating his soul. When the figure turned and faced the class, everyone stopped talking. Naruto Uzumaki. The hooded figure said this before sending so much killer intent into the classroom that the Chunin Iruka fell to his knees and had visions of Naruto killing him in a horrible way. Unfortunately, the young students weren't even close to being able to handle killing intent that strong, so they passed out, cried and begged for mercy, suffocated from the pressure, and a few even went to the bathroom. The intent filled the room for a while, but it was gone in an instant. Naruto then walked to an empty seat and sat down while Iruka calmed down and helped the rest of the class. Nice performance, but you should have killed someone to make your point clearer, Hyuga asked in a playful way. I told Yamato that I would not kill in cold blood, and I think they got the message. Naruto spoke up. These pathetic cowards won't even dare to look at me funny now. After getting the students back to normal, Iruka stood in front of the class and started talking. Today you all start your careers as ninjas. From now on, you'll learn how to handle the harsh realities of the ninja world. This is not a game. The moment you leave this village, you represent it, and there is a real chance you could die before you get back home. From now on, it's my job to make sure that doesn't happen. Now that everyone is outside, I'll be looking at everyone's skills. Iruka walked to the door and pointed for everyone to follow. All of the students got up and followed him out the door, but it was clear that most were trying to avoid Naruto. Only one person wasn't avoiding Naruto, but the blonde didn't notice that person until they touched him on the shoulder. Hinata said, and Naruto, trying to get the blonde's attention. Naruto stopped walking and turned to look at Hinata. Hinata, the blonde wondered. Hinata nodded, and Naruto took off his hood to show that his normally blank face had a hint of interest. We're classmates then. Yeah, I thought I wouldn't see you again, he said. Hinata responded. Naruto shrugged and said, luck seems to be on our side. At least I won't be alone with all these weak shinobi now that you're here. They don't seem to be too bad overall. Hinata responded. Before putting on his hood again, Naruto rolled his eyes. Come on, let's go. They abandoned us. Before the girl could answer, Naruto grabbed her arm, and the two of them disappeared in a column of flames. Iruka and her class walked out the doors and into a large clearing surrounded by trees. As the last student left the classroom, a column of flames started right in front of Iruka. When the flames died down, they showed a hooded Naruto and a red-cheeked Hinata. Now that everyone's here, we can start, Iruka said while glaring at Naruto. The blonde got Kyubai's attention and gave him a red-eyed glare in return, which made Iruka's face go ghostly white. Okay, I'll pair you all up right now. I'll need boys in one line and girls in another. Iruka nodded to show that she understood, and the two groups separated into two lines. Iruka then started checking everyone's strength by looking at their chakra levels. Okay, I want Naruto and Sasuke to fight, so everyone back up so we don't get in the way. Naruto looked at Sasuke and saw that the boy was staring him down and laughing. Naruto rolled his eyes and crossed his arms across his chest as he walked into the clearing. Nice get up, loser. Sasuke said this to try to get Naruto angry. Naruto just shrugged his shoulders and answered, ready. Sasuke glared at Naruto, surprised that his insult didn't work. Why did Iruka-sensei put you, a pathetic orphan, against me, an elite Uchiha? Are you going to fight or talk the whole time? Naruto answered, and he was starting to lose his temper. What? If you want to fight, come at me, and I won't have to move from this spot to beat you, Sasuke said with a smirk. Naruto simply shook his head. Then he was gone in a flash. Sasuke gaped at how fast it was going until something sharp hit him in the throat. Sasuke looks over and sees Naruto holding a trench knife against his throat with the blade pointing away from him. Well, you stayed still. Next, try fighting back. Naruto spoke quietly to Sasuke. Naruto then walked back to the end of the line, aware that everyone was staring at him. Iruka shook his head. Naruto, why don't you and I fight this time so the class can actually see a fight? No ninjutsu or genjutsu, just taijutsu. Whoever gets 3 points first wins. Ready to go. Iruka ran at Naruto while pulling out 2 kunai instead of making fun of him like Sasuke did. Naruto pulled out his trench knives and waited for Iruka to strike first. Iruka reached Naruto and stabbed him in the chest. Naruto blocked with the flat side of his blade before slashing at Iruka's throat with his other knife. Iruka blocked with his other kunai and then hit Naruto in the stomach with his right knee. The blonde lifted his left knee to block. Then they both jumped back and looked at each other. Then Naruto threw one of his knives at Iruka, then vanished. Iruka moved out of the way of the trench knife, turned around, and blocked Naruto as he caught the knife and brought it down on Iruka's head with both blades. Iruka then kicked Naruto. Naruto jumped up and balanced himself on the blades that were connected. Then Naruto pushed off and spun around before kicking Iruka with an axe. Iruka tried to get away, but Naruto used his other foot to kick the Chunin into a tree on the other side of the clearing. Iruka couldn't do anything. When Naruto landed, the other students gasped. Iruka stood up and nodded to show that he was right, but Naruto didn't care. Naruto ran at Iruka and tried to slide tackle her. Iruka jumped over Naruto and slammed his heel into Naruto's face, but Naruto blocked the hit with an elbow to Iruka's ankle. Iruka was knocked off balance and landed hard on his back. Before the teacher could get back up, Naruto was on him. Naruto threw a punch at Iruka's neck, but Iruka deflected it into the ground because he was wearing trench knives. Then Naruto shot at Iruka's chest, but Iruka grabbed his wrist and sent him flying. Naruto stopped falling and landed on his feet after sliding back a couple of feet. Iruka slowly got up and began to rub his shoulder. Oh my, he must weigh a couple of tons. I had to use way too much chakra to get him off, and he still felt like a building. Iruka took one look at Naruto and then charged. The Chunin threw a haymaker at Naruto, who blocked it with his wrist bracer and then hit Iruka in the stomach. Iruka kneed Naruto's arm and then grabbed Naruto's arm and threw him over his shoulder, planning to hit the boy's back on the ground. Naruto spun around in the air, then landed on his feet. Naruto then pulled his arm back. Iruka was holding back, so he punched Iruka in the chest. Iruka grimaced as Naruto's trench knife cracked some of his ribs. Both of them moved back, and Iruka nodded while holding his chest in pain. You can give up because you're hurt, and nobody will blame you for doing so. What Naruto said. Iruka replied, no, while shaking his head. This is a good lesson, in fact. In the ninja world, if you get hurt more often than not, your enemy will not let you go. To simulate this, spars will not end until someone gets 3 points, is knocked out, dies, or both people are unable to fight anymore. You won't get hurt like in this fight because you won't be using weapons like Naruto and I are, so let's keep going. Naruto nodded and vanished once more. Iruka used a kunai to block Naruto's attack on his throat, but he winced when it hurt his ribs. Naruto saw his chance and kicked Iruka in the chest. Before Iruka could fly away, Naruto grabbed his ankle and threw the Chunin face first onto the ground. Iruka yelled as the combo completely broke Naruto's ribs, but Naruto didn't even move. Please get him to the nurse. As Naruto walked over to the class, he gave an order. Hinata walked up to the blonde. Don't you think that was a little too much? Hinata asked as she watched two students carefully help Iruka to the nurse. I told him to lay down. Naruto spoke up. Hinata gave Naruto a nod and then tapped him on the shoulder. Huh? Hinata then pointed to a group of kids walking up to them. We have a problem, Naruto asked. Yeah, we do. We're going to make you pay for bringing down Sensei by hitting his hurt ribs. A brown-haired boy with very wild hair said, yes. When Naruto saw the two triangles under the boy's eyes, he nodded his head. You're as right as an Inuzuka. The boy said, yes, I have killed one already, and he was a Chunin. The boy took a step back, but then he straightened up. I heard that you killed some sad, worthless person in the clan, and that person's own friend turned him down. I am next in line to be clan leader. Compared to him, it'll be impossible to beat me, right Akamaru? Then Naruto saw the little puppy in his jacket. If you fight me, I'll kill you all. Naruto said what he said with a little murderous intent. Even though it wasn't as much as before, it was still enough to make the group fall to their knees. Hinata, come on, Naruto said, pointing to a door. Hinata nodded, and they walked back into the school. As soon as the door closed, the kids stopped wanting to kill each other and got up. He's not alive anymore. The boy gave a snarl. Okay, class, today is the last test. If you pass, you'll become a Konoha Genin. The first part of your exam will consist of a written test. You've got 2 hours to finish. As Iruka talked, the whole class fell completely silent. Mizuki did well on the test. Mizuki nodded and then gave everyone an exam form. Naruto looked at his exam form and sighed. This is useless. How does passing this insultingly easy test show that someone can be a ninja? If anything, this test should be given to civilians, and we should be tested on our ninja skills in the real world. That's true, but stop complaining and take the test. If I have to stay here, my host won't fuss over small things, Kyuubi stated. Naruto just grunted and started his test. About halfway through the test, Naruto turned the page and saw that it had a slight shimmer to it. Naruto chuckled as he looked over the test again. I see a Jinjutsu, clever. Naruto said, release, and the whole test changed. That's putting ninja skills to the test. Before taking the test, Naruto thought about it. The blonde looked at the clock and saw that there were still 40 minutes left, so she followed Shikamaru Nara's advice and fell asleep. Alright, class, come hand in your tests. Iruka said this and smiled as he saw a few kids trying to ask their last few questions quickly. Once everyone had turned in their tests, Iruka told the class, okay, we'll take an hour break so Mizuki and I can grade the tests. The Taijutsu part of the test will come after the break. Naruto sighed, then looked at Hinata and waved for her to come with him. Naruto walked the girl through the school until they got to the roof. Naruto, why was there a Jinjutsu on your test? Hinata's question made Naruto stop for a moment. Yours didn't. She was blonde. No, Hinata said. After I saw you release one, I even checked with my Byakugan. I see. Naruto answered with a blank face. Well, we have time off, so we might as well take it easy. Naruto lay on his back and looked up at the sky. Hinata then laid down to his left, and the two of them enjoyed the peace and quiet until the door they came in through opened, which caught their attention. Shino Aburame was watching Naruto and Hinata from the doorway. Sorry, I didn't mean to invade your privacy. Shino said this as he turned to leave, but Naruto's voice stopped him in his tracks. Relax, you're not invading our privacy. Shino nodded, then sat down on an air vent. Why is this so strange? Since I've been going to the same school as you for about 4 years, this is the closest we've ever been. I thought you were afraid of me like everyone else was. Naruto spoke, breaking the silence. I don't fear you, but I didn't see a good reason to talk to you. There was no good reason for us to talk. Shino reacted. So you don't fear me, even though I'm a monster? Naruto asked. You are not the beast inside you, you are a person just like I am. Shino replied. I'm not the Kyuubi. Anyone who could see that. I said that I'm a monster, and I like being a monster. Killing the weak villagers when they attack gives me peace of mind. I love the sound of their screams and the smell of their fear, so why aren't you scared of me? Shino adjusted his shade and said, I'm not a villager, and you haven't gone out of your way to bother me like some have, so why should I be afraid of you? Shino reacted. Naruto looked up at Shino and then laughed softly. I like you. Well, this break is almost over, so let's get back to class, Naruto said as he was standing up. He then walked to class, and then the three of them walked back together to class. Naruto rolled his eyes as he walked into class and saw the girls fighting about who would sit next to Sasuke. One of the girls bumped into Naruto as he walked by, and he fell into the seat next to the only Uchiha. Everyone in the room fell silent as they watched to see what would happen. Naruto, move. Sekira Haruno spoke words that were poisonous, and she started to show killer intent. The killer intent made Naruto laugh. Really, that's all the murderous intent you could muster. Even a house cat wouldn't be scared by that. I'll show you how to do it. Naruto answered before he released enough killer intent to make the girls in the area fall to their knees. Pardon me, but I need to go to my seat. Naruto said this as he was walking to his seat and saw Shino there. Shino and Hinata had made a space for him between them. Well, that's different. Shino, it looks like you've joined our small group. Naruto spoke up. Hinata told me to sit with you too, so she was the one who led me to join your group. Shino told the story. Naruto nodded and was about to answer, but he was interrupted. More like a group of freaks from the circus, Kiba said. The Inuzuka was about to make another joke, but he couldn't say it because Naruto's killer intent made everyone in the class too scared to move. If I were you, Inuzuka, I'd watch what I say. Don't try my temper or my patience. Naruto spoke quietly. Iruka and Mizuki walked into the room before anyone could say anything else. Naruto stopped wanting to kill and looked to his teachers for guidance. Okay, class, everyone go to the dojo. The next part of our exam will be there. Iruka pointed toward the door and said. The students got up and followed Iruka to the dojo. Once everyone was inside, Iruka walked to the middle of the room, turned to the class, and said, okay, we'll pair you up so that those with the same level of skill fight each other. Your taijutsu skills will determine how you do in the test. If you win the fight, your grade will go up, but losing won't change it. The top 2 boys in class, Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha, will be up first. Both boys went to the middle of the dojo and stood on opposite sides of Iruka. After settling into their positions, they looked at Iruka to see if that was the signal to start. Iruka put his hand up in the air and dropped it before jumping back to get out of the way. Sasuke tried to punch Naruto in the chest, but the blonde dodged the blow by sliding to the left. Sasuke took advantage of his speed and landed on his hands. He then threw a helicopter kick at Naruto's head. Naruto dodged the kick and punched the Uchiha's spinning body. Sasuke took the blow and turned around using the force of the punch. Naruto didn't give Sasuke any time to recover before charging at him and punching the Uchiha's unprotected gut with all his strength. The blow knocked Sasuke off his feet, and Naruto then hit the Uchiha in the back of the head with a roundhouse kick. Sasuke tilted his head so that the kick just missed the back of his head. As soon as Sasuke's feet hit the ground, he tried to kick Naruto in the ankles with a wide kick. But Naruto jumped over it and kneed the Uchiha in the face. Sasuke fell hard on his back and rolled to the left right before Naruto's fist landed where his head had been. The blow was so strong that it cracked the floor of the dojo. Naruto's blank look at Sasuke made the boy shiver. Then Naruto stood in front of Sasuke and kicked him in the face, sending him into the wall of the dojo. Sasuke got up, landed with both feet on the wall, and then moved toward Naruto. But when the Uchiha was close enough to hit, Naruto was already gone. Before Sasuke could think about it, a punch hit him in the back, causing him to stumble forward. As soon as he regained his balance, he was kicked in the stomach. When Sasuke doubled over in pain, Naruto's heel hit the back of the lone Uchiha's head. When Sasuke's head hit the ground, a sharp crack could be heard all over the dojo. Iruka went up to the boy and turned him over to see that his head was gushing blood. Iruka put his hand in his back pocket and took out a piece of cloth. He put the bandage on the wound and signaled for Mizuki. Mizuki, take him to a nurse. The second teacher nodded, picked up the boy while still pressing down on the cloth, and then left the room. Naruto, you're wearing weights, right? When Iruka asked, Naruto nodded. Did you get rid of them to get the speed boost? Naruto nodded. No, I was just trying to make the Uchiha feel safe. I sped up when I thought he could keep up with me because I wanted to beat him. Naruto spoke up. Iruka didn't answer, but she looked at the other kids and said, now you're up. Hinata, Hyuga, and Ino Yamanaka. Hinata and Ino walked to the center of the dojo on opposite sides of Iruka, just like Naruto and Sasuke. Iruka waited for a moment to see if they were ready. Iruka told the girls to start and jump back when they both gave her a thumbs up. Isn't it funny that both of our men fought each other, and now we fight? Ino said. Hinata blushed when she thought that Naruto might be her boyfriend, but she didn't say anything. He's not your man, Ino pig. Sekira started to yell. Ino ignored her and went straight for Hinata. The blonde jumped up and tried to give Hinata an axe kick to the shoulder, but Hinata caught her foot and tapped Ino's calf with her pointer and middle fingers. After landing, Ino jumped back. Ino then started rubbing her calf, trying to get feeling back into it. Okay, that wasn't my brightest idea, Ino muttered to herself. By getting back into her fighting stance, Ino attacked Hinata again. This time, Ino started by feinting at Hinata's stomach. When Hinata fell for it, the blonde laughed and jabbed Hinata in the face. Hinata dodged the blow by bending backwards and using her flexibility. As soon as her hands hit the ground, Hinata kicked Ino in the chin with a flip kick. Hinata's ankle was caught by Ino, who saw what she was going to do and acted accordingly. Ino turned Hinata around a few times before throwing her at the nearest wall. Hinata hit the wall and slid down, but she didn't move. "Aruka-sensei, she's out, make the call." As she turned to face the teacher, Ino said. Aruka just shook his head and stated, "Winner Hinata Hyuga." What? When Ino yelled, she felt 2 fingers touch the back of her head. "Ino-san, I could have killed you." Hinata whispered, "Never turn your back on opponents." Hinata walked up to Naruto and Shino and smiled. "You're getting mean because you've been spending too much time with me. You didn't even stutter either." Naruto said something, which made Hinata redden. "I didn't realize it." Hinata answered. Naruto sighed, but he couldn't say anything because Aruka again got everyone's attention. Next pair will be Shino Aburame and Kaneshai Itsuki. Shino walked up to a tall boy with dark green hair and stood face to face with him. The boy wore a long-sleeved shirt in forest green and ninja pants in navy blue. Aruka waited a moment and both boys nodded. Aruka gave them a sign to start and then jumped back. Kaneshai charged forward, jumped over Shino, and then threw a roundhouse kick at Shino's face. Shino dodged the kick and swept Kaneshai's legs out from under him without turning to face his opponent. Shino didn't give the boy a chance to respond, so he turned and punched Kaneshai in the throat. While the boy was gagging, Shino jumped up and landed hard with both feet on Kaneshai's chest. The boy gasped as all of the air in his lungs came out. Aruka stopped Shino from attacking again before he could do so. "Okay, I must have overestimated both of your skills. This fight is over, and Shino Aburame is the winner." Before letting Shino go, Aruka said. The young Aburame nodded and walked toward Naruto and Hinata. "Hey Aruka-sensei, can we leave after our fights?" Naruto asked. Aruka shrugged and nodded. "Just come back to class by 1 so we can do the last part of the exam." Naruto nodded and left with Hinata. As he was walking toward the door, he turned around and gave Shino a quick look. "Shino, are you coming?" Shino didn't answer, but he walked over to them just as 3 people were leaving the dojo. "Do any of you want to go get something to eat?" As the 3 of them wandered around the academy aimlessly, Naruto watched. "You should probably eat. The next part of the test is ninjutsu. Taking this test on an empty stomach wouldn't make sense." Shino responded. "Yeah, I see, but a simple yes would have worked, too." Naruto murmured. Naruto guided them to Ikaraku's ramen stand. "Ramen?" asked Shino. "The best food ever," Naruto answered. "The child who has probably killed more people than some jounin in our village loves ramen. His name is Fishcake, which is strange." Shino was thinking to himself as the group entered the ramen shop. "Well, if it's not Naruto and he's got company, what can I get you?" As the 3 people sat down, a big man asked, "What are you doing?" Naruto said, "Tuchai, I'll have what I usually get," and then he turned to look at Hinata, Shino, and Hinata. "What would you 2 like to eat?" "Oh, 1 vegetable ramen," Hinata replied. Shino answered, "A miso ramen." Tuchai nodded and went back to the kitchen to start making food. The 3 of them started talking informally about the last part of the exam. The girl in her late teens or early 20s smiled as she came out of the kitchen. "Looks like Naruto-chan has finally brought some friends." She said this while laughing. Even though Naruto rolled his eyes, he pointed to the girl. "This is I am, Hinata and Shino. I am my friends Hinata Hyuga and Shino Aburame." Naruto answered rudely and then tried to ignore I am's sneaky grin. "So, Naruto, how long have you known Cutie and Mr. Mysterious?" I am asked. Hinata's red face made her smirk even more, but I am pouted inside when she saw that Shino didn't respond. "I met Hinata the day that happened. Shino and I are in the same class, but today is the first time we've met." Naruto answered without any emotion. Aim nodded and was about to say something else when Tuchai's voice cut her off. "Aim, tell them what to do." From the kitchen, Tuchai called out. Aim gave a small huff of disappointment before heading into the kitchen. She came back a few minutes later with 2 trays. One tray had 2 bowls, but the bowls on the other tray were stacked like a pyramid. "Here you go. We have 1 vegetable ramen for Hinata, 1 miso ramen for Shino, and 1 of each for Naruto." Aim said as she set down the trays and started putting the bowls in front of each person. 20 minutes later, Hinata and Shino, who is usually calm, were staring at Naruto as he ate the last bowl of ramen. "All right, let's go back," Naruto said as he stood up from his chair. Since they couldn't find their voices, they just nodded and followed him back to class. "Okay, class, this is the final part of your exam. Each of you will be called into the next room, where you will use a transformation jutsu, a substitution jutsu, and a clone jutsu. If you can do all the jutsu, you pass the exam. If you can't, you fail and have to try again next year or look for a civilian job in the village. Iruka said this as he looked at a clipboard he was holding. First, Shino Aburam. Please follow me. Shino gave Iruka a nod and then followed her out of the classroom. Naruto groaned. Great, I'd be the second to last child in the class. Now I have to wait until 19 kids finish this stupid test before I can leave. Naruto took a quick look around the class and saw that Shikamaru was sleeping. The blonde demon container decided to follow his lead and fell asleep. It's your turn, Naruto. When Naruto woke up, he saw that Shino had a Konoha Hidai 8 on his head and Hinata had one around her neck. Naruto nodded and walked out of the classroom into the other room where the test was being given by Iruka and Mizuki. Iruka looked at Naruto as he came in and then pointed to Mizuki, who was holding a variety of weapons for throwing. Alright, Mizuki will throw you the weapons. I need you to use the substitution jutsu to avoid at least 3 waves of them. He is going to send out 5 waves. When you're ready, nod. Iruka stated. When Naruto said yes, Mizuki threw a handful of kunai at him right away. Naruto took the attacks and fell to the ground. Iruka paled while Mizuki smirked. Iruka ran to help Naruto, but when she got there, he was gone, replaced by a chair and surrounded by smoke. Impressive, Naruto. I didn't think you'd be able to keep up the idea that you were in control of the object for so long. Continue the test, Mizuki. As Naruto walked down from the back of the class, Iruka said. Mizuki saw Naruto and threw the shuriken he was holding in the other hand at the boy. He then grabbed 2 more weapons and threw one where Naruto was and the other where he thought Naruto would be. Naruto used the substitution jutsu to get away from both waves of weapons, which made him sad. Mizuki took the last few and threw them at Naruto with an inward sigh. Naruto gasped in pain when the weapons hit him, which surprised Iruka. Iruka walked over to him and almost let out a gasp when a puff of smoke covered Naruto and revealed Mizuki with bruises from the blunted weapons hitting her. Iruka turned around and saw Naruto standing where Mizuki had been, grinning. Iruka shook his head, helped Mizuki sit down, and then looked at Naruto. Okay, Naruto, do a transformation jutsu for me, Iruka said. Before his body went up in smoke, Naruto gave a nod. When the smoke cleared, Iruka had to look at what had happened twice. At first glance, Iruka thought the boy just turned into an older version of himself, but when she looked more closely, she gasped at what she saw. Naruto had become the 4th Hokage, but the similarities between the 2 blondes were a little unsettling. In 5 years, Naruto will look exactly like Minato-sama. Iruka thought for a moment, then gave Naruto a nod. Alright, do a clone jutsu for me. Naruto nodded, and then from behind the boy, 9 chakra tails shot out. 8 of the tails landed on the ground before changing shape. In an instant, Naruto was made from the 8 tails, and as soon as he was finished, the tails broke off from him. Okay, good. Would you mind telling me what kind of clones those are? Iruka asked. Naruto gave a casual shrug. They don't really have a name. I just tried making them one day and it worked. I guess they are copies of demons. The blonde answered. The clones lost their form, and Naruto's tails went back to his body. Once Naruto's 8 tails had all come back to him, they went back into his body. Iruka told Naruto, you pass, Naruto Uzumaki, and then gave him his Hidai 8. Naruto took it and tied it to his thigh before walking back to the classroom. Just as Naruto walked into class, Ino got up and left. Shino had moved to the window when Naruto sat down and looked. What happened to Shino? Naruto asked. Sakura-san crushed an insect he was observing. Then she was rude to Shino. Shino didn't fight back. Instead, he just walked over the window. Hinata responded. Naruto gave Shino a nod and walked over to her. You want her to feel pain, right? Shino didn't answer when Naruto asked. Naruto then saw that Shino's knuckles were white because he was holding his fists so tightly. You know that you'll have chances to win her back. Get all of them back, but are you strong enough? Naruto added. I will have enough strength, Shino said after a short pause. Not just with your clan jutsu, he said. Even though Naruto was talking to himself, Shino could still hear him. The 2 of them walked back to Hinata, who was waiting for them, just as Ino, Iruka, and Mizuki came back to class after being out. Well, congrats to everyone who did well. See you back in class at noon. I'm sorry to everyone else, but you can all try again next year. The class is over, Iruka said. Within seconds, everyone was getting out of the classroom so they could meet with their parents. When Naruto looked around, he saw that Yamato wasn't there. It looks like he's on a mission. Naruto thought for a moment before leaving to find a place to relax because he didn't want to be in his apartment. After wandering around for about an hour, Naruto found himself in a forest behind the Hokage monument, near the edge of a waterfall. Naruto sighed and jumped up into a tree, where he laid down on a branch. Not even 10 minutes after Naruto climbed into the tree, a masked figure jumped toward him from the branches. The figure was holding a huge scroll and looking behind him. The plan went wrong because the figure didn't see Naruto and ran into him. Naruto was lucky because the figure was sent into the nearby waterfall by a tail of chakra. Naruto looked around to see what had happened when he heard a thud from below. When Naruto looked down, he saw the person's large scroll lying at the base of the tree. Naruto dropped down to see what the scroll was because his curiosity got the best of him. The scroll of sealing. I don't know why it's here. As Naruto looked around to make sure no one was there, he thought. Then, Naruto opened the scroll. Well, I guess it won't bother anyone if I take a quick look. When Naruto read the scroll, he smiled and pulled some scrolls out of his hidden pockets. Naruto started to copy all of the jutsu on the scroll of sealing. Naruto copied all the jutsu after more than an hour and 6 more scrolls. Now that that's over, let's see what I want to learn first, Naruto said as he shuffled his scrolls together and chose one at random. The shadow clone technique and variations, I guess that's as good as any. Before he started working on the jutsu, Naruto put the rest of the scrolls in his pockets. What are you up to, Naruto? Iruka yelled when he saw Naruto sweating a lot and the scroll of sealing on the ground nearby. Naruto gave her a shrug and looked over Iruka's shoulder. You want this, don't you, Mizuki? Naruto said while pointing to the scroll. When Iruka turned around, he saw a drenched Mizuki holding a Fuma Shuriken and giving Naruto a mean look. Demon, how did you know? Mizuki asked, venom dripping his voice. You guessed right, Naruto said. But even though I hate this village, I can't give it to you, so I'll have to kill you. Mizuki gave him a smirk and threw the Shuriken at him. As the Fuma Shuriken came closer, Naruto didn't even move. A chakra tail shot out about a foot from his body and deflected the projectile. Mizuki glared at Naruto and ran at him, pulling out a bunch of kunai with explosive tags on them. Mizuki threw them at Naruto, and they all landed at his feet. When Naruto saw the exploding tags, he jumped up to get out of the way but moved too slowly. Naruto was caught in the explosion, and Mizuki tried to grab the scroll, but someone grabbed his wrist. Mizuki looked at Naruto's blood-red eyes with slit pupils and felt a chill go down her spine. That wasn't very nice. Almost got hit by your attack, Naruto muttered. Before Mizuki could say anything, Naruto kicked him in the chest, sending him flying into the air and breaking a few ribs. Mizuki didn't have time to get back on her feet because Naruto was on top of her almost right away. The blonde dug both of his heels into Mizuki's chest, breaking his ribs in the process. Mizuki coughed up blood as he hit the ground and gasped for air. That was sad, you weren't even a warm-up. In fact, I was hoping you would make me use some of the jutsu I had just learned, Naruto said as he pulled out one of his trench knives and started channeling wind chakra into it. Naruto, you don't have to kill him because he can't fight back. When Iruka landed next to Naruto, he yelled, people think Konoha shinobi are weak because of this. You're all too merciful. Naruto spoke up. Before Iruka could answer, the forest was filled with the sound of flesh being cut. Mizuki's head was 2 feet away from the rest of his body when Iruka looked. Iruka looked at Naruto and saw that he was calmly putting away the trench knife. I think you can take care of the rest, Iruka-sensei. I'll see you at class tomorrow. Naruto said this before disappearing in a column of flames, leaving Iruka standing at the base of the tree with Mizuki's body and the scroll of sealing.
So this was it for today. I will continue the story in next part. Till then, we weeb offline.